I like to solo in MMOs. Of course, when they give you the opportunity that's viable. And in City of Heroes, it really is. It's well done. But the direction they're heading now, actually, with issue 20, the upcoming issue, they're adding more sort of raid content, which, I don't know, I know a lot of people like it, but I'm in that group of people who prefers to solo, or at least, play with smaller teams, smaller groups of people. I like to play with sort of like 5 or less people. Of course, I will play with more, like running task forces and stuff, which, in City of Heroes, for anyone who doesn't know, that's sort of like a series of missions, kind of like a story arc where you're forced to team because they have really tough enemies called archvillains very often in task forces. And, you just couldn't really viably complete them solo. At least most people couldn't. There are people out there that make a point to solo task forces and archvillains, and it's pretty impressive. Now, I might have one character who could solo a few archvillains, maybe more, but like not many of my characters could claim to be able to do that, including this one, because this character is sort of a mob mower. I can run down loads and loads of weaker enemies easily, but tougher enemies, one-on-one fights with enemies that hit really hard, she just gets torn to shreds. And this is the City of Heroes experience right here. Not being able to find one of your objectives and running around blindly. Now that's the negative part. But I really do love this game. It's a lot of fun. You can sort of make your own storylines for your characters. They have a little area to put in a bio for your character. They added over time ways for you to upgrade your character, even once you hit max level, and they continue to do that with the incarnate stuff. Obviously it doesn't have as much variety as, say, like World of Warcraft or something like that. But I don't know, I've never really been into the fantasy thing. Like, I do enjoy the aspects of it that, it's not realistic or anything like that. That's fun, video games. They're, you play them just to mess around. I don't need my video games to be ultra realistic. But I don't know. World of Warcraft, I'm not really into the whole elves and dwarves and night elves and gnomes, that kind of thing. The whole strictly fantasy thing. And I really like the modern setting, actually, also. In, most types of fiction. Oh, well. Wow, I walked right past this. Ugh. Well, you'll see a lot of me doing that, because running past your objectives is very common in City of Heroes. Particularly, you get sound cues, but I'm actually recording the audio for this on a camera because I don't have a headset right now. Hence why I say this is kind of a ghetto setup. I have an old one somewhere, but I don't know where it is, and it really was an awful headset anyway. Like, my audio, my speaking would probably sound terrible through it, really grainy and just awful. I actually got the headset for free, quote unquote, from an old, what's it called, Dragon Naturally Speaking thing, the program. Look at, there's that sepia thing again. Weird. But anyway, I got Dragon Naturally Speaking, where you speak and it sort of interprets what you're saying and puts it into words on the screen, so you can like write a paper or whatever just by speaking. It didn't work great, but it was fun. It was a neat little thing. I'm glad I tried it at least. Of course, the more you sort of teach it, the smarter it got. But I don't know, for anything other than using it with that program, it just wasn't very good. And really, I guess part of the problem with the program might have even been that the headset was just bad, and it didn't really recognize what you were saying. It was just very grainy. It didn't pick up very well. I never really use it all that much. I thought it would be neat, because I actually have I have mild arthritis, or at least some kind of joint pain that irritates my fingers and stuff when I type for long periods. So I was like, oh, this will be neat. I'll be able to, you know, write a paper, and, you know, I won't have to worry so much about, you know, my fingers aching at the end of it. And, you know, it was alright, but just the hassle of having to go back and correct so much, it wasn't really worth it. I know they've released tons of versions since then, but, you know, I haven't tried them. So, I don't know, it's kind of funny. This is the first, you know, little bit of me playing this, and I'm already talking about tons of things not related to the game. Jabbering on about anything and everything. That's really weird. Look at that. Like, you can't even tell how much damage is being done to me most of the time because the numbers aren't coming up correctly. I don't really think there's going to be anything I can do about that, but I guess you can look up here at my health bar. See that kind of thing. That says I have 2 artifacts to recover, and I need to unlock the door. I've actually done this story a decent amount, so I actually sort of remember the layout of this map. I guess there's a lot of reused environments in City of Heroes. So a part of sort of playing it for a long time is that you really get used to the maps. Because you've seen them many, many times, even after playing for, you know, I knew plenty of maps after playing it for a year. What? Why does it tell me to go over there? Oh, whatever. The door's actually over here. So this power I'm using right now is a Ninja Run power. It's actually something you purchase with the a ninja pack. This sort of gives you ninja costume pieces as well as this little quick run power, which is cool. And I have a stealth IO, which is an invention origin enhancement in my my sprint. So that actually makes me harder to detect for enemies as well, which is kind of cool. So here's a boss. We'll take him down. You know, not really much danger. These guys actually, the worst thing about them is the little armor that he puts on. So he's got a rock armor he pulled up once I attacked him. That gives them, you know, a good bit of defense, so you miss them much more often. But like I said, Blackrose is just, she's built really strong. Not really defensively. It's really popular for characters to sort of soft cap their defenses, which basically means that most attacks, the vast majority, will miss them. But Blackrose is actually meant mostly for recharge and attack power. But yeah, that's the first story arc of City of Heroes. Sillily, I didn't really look at the clues I was kidding or anything. I'm trying to look at the story, so, you know, that's kind of something I have to work on. When I get a clue, I need to remember to pull up my clue thing and be like, oh, this is what I got. I'm just so used to being like, okay, get this, move on. And the sepia bug is back. That's odd. But yeah, you know, there really wasn't much to this story anyway. It's like, oh, the outcasts are causing trouble. You should go recover their stuff. So, yeah, there you go. That's the first little story arc of City of Heroes. You know, let me know what you like and dislike about my little venture here. The rambling part, I don't know if I'll be able to help, because that's just how I am. But yeah, thanks for watching.